Continuing with our study of Mareh Yaakov. As with every week, we go into something that we did in Parshat Shavua, but actually, rather than talk about notes from the Parshat Shavua, we're going to talk about something that we've come across many, many times in the Perush, and we haven't necessarily found a good answer to, and that is the translation of the word kol, which normally is translated as all, throughout the Perush is translated as the word most. And I wanted to bring some examples from this week's Parsha of the variety of meanings that the word kol can have. And I want to bring it from two different psukim. So the first one is Vayamat kol miknei Mitzrayim, and in the plague of Dever, in the plague of disease that befell animals, it says that all of the miknei, all of the animals belonging to Mitzrayim died, and yet in the next plague there are animals walking around, and in the plague of Barad there are animals walking around again. So the Mefarshim have to struggle with what this means, and Rashi comes out with the answer that all of the animals that were left outside in the field died, and all of the ones that were kept inside did not die, which actually magnifies the plague, because as those of us who are familiar with disease know, disease tends to spread, and there are vectors, and there are people going inside and outside, and if you had animals inside and animals outside, it would be very unlikely that somebody did not transfer the plague to the animals inside. But in any case, that's Rashi's answer. Kol means the animals that were outside, not the animals that were inside. Even Ezra's answer is in fact the answer that we have in the Perush. The word kol does not mean all, it means most. And we'll come to that at the very last.
Well, isn't that consistent?
And I'm trying to quote it by sources. And the Chizkuni says that the word kol doesn't modify the word miknei, it modifies the word Mitzrayim, that only animals belonging to Egyptians died. So, all Egyptian, the animals that were died were all Egyptian. So, okay, he turns it around and he says that's what that's for. Now, the next one I'm going to talk about, the next sentence I'm going to talk about, is in reference to the plague of Barad, the plague of hail. And God says, I'm going to Sholech, Moses is told to say, I'm going to send Et kol magefotai el libecha. I'm going to send all of my plagues towards your heart. So again, we've got this word all, and what does that mean? And the source on this one is both Ibn Ezra and Rashbam come out with the answer that the plague of hail was a multifaceted plague. There was hail, there was fire, there was thunder. There were all sorts of things that each one in and of themselves would have been a major calamity, and if that happened in that year, it would have been a horrible thing. So Kol speaks to the multiplicity of the plague, the fact that there were multiple aspects to it, and not to the fact that this is everything that could possibly afflict your heart, just that this is something that had lots of different aspects to it. And we have yet another answer that's given to this, and this is the one that comes from Sforno. And Sforno says that from the plague of Barad on, all of these plagues had long-term implications on Egyptian society. They were things that, before, anything that had happened was somewhat recoverable. But from this plague on, Barad and Choshech and so on, from this plague on, everything that happened left a long-term impact on Egyptian society. So the word kol is an aspect that goes through time rather than an aspect of saying everything. It's something that has a long calendar to it. So I want to focus a little bit on the word kol. And the word kol is two letters. It's Kaf, Lamed. Hebrew alphabet has 22 letters, and these are letters number 11 and 12. So these are exactly in the middle. This is exactly halfway through the alphabet. And if we wanted to say everything, we would think that we have an aleph and a tav, the first to the end. Everything would be very wide apart. Kol is exactly in the middle, with as little space in between it as there can be. One letter and then the next letter. When we think it's everything, there's more. There's way more to either side. So when we have the aspect of it being all, what we perceive as all is in fact just a little bit of what there potentially could be. So from just the letters of the word and their placement in the Hebrew alphabet, we see that kol, we perceive it as all, but in fact there's much more if we can investigate and look deeper. So
Very interesting.
just we've been coming to the aspect of this word kol, pretty well translating it like the Ibn Ezra as most throughout this sefer. And I saw this drush this week, and I felt that this is something that we needed on the tape so that we could understand why that word kol is being translated that way.
Go ahead.
And we'll pause.